Daily Debrief with DaniMarie, where podcasting, AI, and pop culture meet. From creator news to what's trending today, we're breaking it down the DaniMarie way. Tips, tools, headlines, and industry tea. Weekdays at 12:45 PST. So grab your notebook, coffee, or your tea. It's Daily The Brief with DaniMarie. Yeah!
All right. Everybody is talking about the World Cup like it's just a soccer game or football. But for content creators, podcasters, small business owners, and community storytellers, this is a once-in-a-generation street team moment. So today on our Daily Debrief, we're breaking down the latest AI, podcasting, and creator economy news, including video podcasting updates, AI creators, creator-led events, and why real-life community coverage still matters. Then we're going to get right into street team and guerrilla marketing ideas for creators who want to document FIFA, support local businesses, and turn boots on the ground content into visibility, relationships, and revenue. All right, you guys. So we're so excited that you're joining us. We are on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and Substack. Make sure you say hello. Comment the word hello. Tell us what you're doing in terms of podcasting and content creation. We would love to hear from you and support you on your journey. There's so many ways that you can tap in. And by the way, if you don't know, I am DaniMarie, your podcast bestie, and I help businesses and creators use podcasting as a marketing tool so they can build trust with their audience, turn listeners into customers through clear content strategies, systems, and training. And if you are a business or advertiser, I can help you get in front of the right audiences so you can increase your sales, brand awareness through podcast promo, creator partnerships, and live activations, which we're talking a lot about today. And since we're on the topic, mind you, you can always visit our website for more information. This is hostcityhustle.com/street team. Hold on. I don't know why this has been doing this to me lately, but I'll be right back. All right. More information on hostcityhustle.com/street team. But we do currently have a promo going on that looks like this. So you can hire our street team in the event that you're not able to attend any of the watch parties. We will be there specifically in the Washington State area. We have Bellevue, Puyallup, Olympia, and Seattle, and we will be there. There are packages available, very reasonably priced, from $25 to $100, depending on what you would like us to do. Everything from passing out promo material to live streaming. But again, we're not gatekeepers here, so we're going to share with you, for all of you podcasters and content creators out there, exactly how you can recreate what we're doing here in Washington. But starting off, we like to be live Monday through Friday at 12:45 p.m. PST to talk all things AI, pop culture, and podcasting, of course. So we're going to dive into all of the juicy details, the industry tea, before we talk about the main topic of the hour. So here we go. Big news rundown, AI podcasting and creator economy. AI, the big shift is agents are everywhere. Google's I/O 2026 announcements were framed around new models, agents, search, creation tools, shopping, and productivity for creators. The real takeaway is that AI is becoming less of a write my caption tool and more of an operating layer for discovery, ads, shopping, and workflow. So Microsoft is also pushing the same agentic direction. At Build 2026, Microsoft highlighted agents grounded in company knowledge, new in-house AI models, image models for creative workflows, transcription and voice tools, and even local AI hardware. So with up to 1 petaflop of AI compute, we talked about this a couple of days ago, exactly like what petaflop is, like the whole bandwidth into which the speed things are going to be moving on our devices. Translation for creators, the tools are getting faster, more local, and more embedded in business workflows. Microsoft's AI diffusion report says global AI use rose from 16 use, has rose from 16.3% to 17.8% of the world's working age population. In Q1 of 2026, while the US reached a 31.3% usage rate. That matters because AI literacy is quickly becoming a baseline business skill, not just reserved for people who are in the tech industry. So one of my favorite people to follow is Alicia Little, right? She did come from corporate, but she's basically been in this world of AI, I think she said since 2023. And now she's teaching it to other people. And the everyday person is learning AI to help run their business, right? Help with building a side hustle, helping basically get some of your time back for all of the busy people that are out there in the world, whether you're a busy mom, a parent in general, or whatever the case. So AI is not just for people who know anything about tech. AI is now becoming a household name and a household tool that we're all using. Let's get into the creator economy content. Forbes is tracking the rise of creators as business operators, including Cannes Lions 2026 activations around influencer marketing and the creator economy. Plus, the growing idea of chief creator officer. I love that. And creator angel investors. So I haven't heard, I think this is a newer term. I could be very wrong, but sometimes what I love to do is ask my handy dandy chat GPT for a point of reference. So how new is this idea or title, chief creator officer? So I know COO, chief operating officer, I know CEO, but I haven't heard of chief creator officer before. So every now and again, I love to ask, hey, Chat GPT, we're live. Tell the people hello.
I've got you. Let's keep it real. Folks, technology is involved in nearly
I don't know what she heard me say. Hey, tell the people hello.
Hey everyone, glad to have you here. I'm ready to keep it real and make this worth your time. Let's dive into whatever you're working on today.
Okay, one title I have not heard before until very recent, until today, is Chief Creator Officer. Tell me more.
Chief Creator Officer is basically the visionary at the helm of the brand's storytelling, content, and creative output. Think of it like being the CEO of imagination and engagement. You're guiding the overall creative strategy from media to branding, ensuring everything resonates with your community. In your case, you'd be the chief connector, curator, and cheerleader all in one.
Tell me, is this a newer title or has this been around for a while, and how much are these people getting paid?
The title Chief Creator Officer is relatively new and has emerged with the rise of the creator economy, blending creative leadership with strategic content direction. While exact salary data is limited, it aligns with roles like Chief Creative Officer, which can average between about $120,000 to $200,000 or more, depending on the company's scale. In your case, it's a great way to position yourself as the creative and strategic lead across your ventures.
Okay, I love that. All right, so the growing idea of Chief Creator Officer and Creator Angel Investors. The angle means brands are no longer treating creators like cute content machines. They're treating them like distribution, culture, product listing, product testing, community, and sometimes investment partners. Love that for us. LinkedIn is reportedly testing paid creator-led events and wants to scale toward thousands of creator events a year. This is a sleeper story. It means LinkedIn is trying to become a professional creator monetization platform, not just a resume graveyard with humble brags. What I love about that is even for content creators, podcasters, you're starting to see more of them do more mini events and do local tours. And so it sounds like LinkedIn is adopting this thing where they're going to host several events a year, building up their community. You have to be at the grounds level, which is why we're talking a lot about street team and guerrilla marketing today. Samsung Newsroom, hashtag Team Galaxy Connect 2026, brought about 140 influencers from 35 countries to experience the Galaxy S26 Ultra and Galaxy Buds 4 Pro and create real-time social stories. That is not just a phone launch, that is a global street team with premium devices. Now let's get into podcasting. Pod News reports that Apple Podcast Video is becoming they're coming to tvOS and Mac OS later this year with optional 4K video podcast support and a search within a show feature. So this is huge for podcasters because video podcasts are moving from phone content to living room content. One of the best examples, in my opinion, of course, I talk about this quite often, is The Breakfast Club. They started off as a little old radio station that was very local, became syndicated, moved from a syndicated radio station to a podcast with an RSS feed and distribution across various platforms, to growing into TV content, living room content, and then now live streaming, because now you can live stream on Netflix and see some of the behind the scenes of what the Breakfast Club is doing. So they're one of the perfect examples of how a podcasting has went from phone content to living room content. Let me know in the comment section, how do you mostly consume podcasts? Is it typically on the go while you're commuting back and forth to work? Is it once you get home and you want to wind down and you're cooking dinner for your family and you're cleaning around the house? Or are you constantly, like myself, listening to a podcast? It doesn't matter if it's on a phone or on a television. You're tuned in. Let me know. I would love to hear from you. Pod News also reported global podcasting revenue is now estimated at $9.2 billion, which is up 23% from last year, with consumer revenue from memberships and support tools reaching $2.2 billion. That supports the message that you can keep telling podcasters. Podcasters cannot depend on ads alone. Community, subscriptions, events, and direct listener support matter. Yes, I'm always preaching and teaching that. Spotify has clarified that AI cannot be used to impersonate others with voice clones, but Pod News is calling their bluff. Pod News has noted Spotify still has no policy on entirely AI-generated shows. That is a juicy discussion point, something that we can talk about in the very near future. But what are your thoughts about platforms that are using AI only for their podcasts? So they're using an avatar, they're cloning another person's voice, and there is no ramifications for people that are using AI for podcasting. Do you think it should slide, or do you think there should be more interference and we should call those platforms out more? Frankly, I don't care. I reported a while ago, like Walmart and Amazon are doing this, at least Amazon, where they're using AI avatars to talk about their own products on their podcast. And they put out at least 120 pieces of content like this a month, tentatively speaking. So that's what I heard. I did not do my research beyond that to go listen to the podcast quite yet. Complex covered Soulja Boy joking with Cenat around Streamer University, which sounds messy and funny on the surface, but the deeper creator economy angle is ownership. Cenat turned creator school into culture, IP, content, education, and community. And now it's becoming somewhat of a spectacle. So I did notice yesterday, Soulja Boy posted that he is going to turn, as a matter of fact, let's see if it's still up to see how true or false this is. And you know, Soulja Boy is always the first to do it, right? Soulja Boy. And it's still up. So Rapper University, only on Twitch. So he's teaching people how to get into the rap industry. So love that. But Cenat in this case did it first. The Verge reported that AI content creators are getting harder to spot, with fake influencers becoming more realistic and platforms who are struggling to define the rules. That is under discussed because real creators are not just competing with other companies anymore. They're competing with synthetic personalities that can post all day and never need childcare. I feel like that was some shade. They don't need childcare. They don't need sleep. They don't need snacks or an emotional support, iced coffee. Another sleeper, independent musicians are suing Google, alleging YouTube uploads were used to train Google's Lyria music AI. So the bigger creator question is consent. When creators upload to platforms, how much of their work becomes platform fuel? I know I just saw another creator talk about this with Suno, and they were saying alleging that they have proof that Suno is using other people's content or other people's music, other artists, to train their AI over on Suno. Does this make some of you music artists disgruntled? I can understand why. I think things are just moving so fast that we don't quite have a handle on everything. Same thing with, the same thing that happened during the pandemic, and the reasons why, partly why a lot of the actors were on strike, right? Because I think they were using like Samuel L. Jackson's voice in some of the AI content, and all kind of stuff was happening. Or Morgan Freeman was it, but it was somebody, but he or they were just not exclusive. It was other people that were doing it. So now the same thing has happened as it relates to music, and now the same thing is going to happen as it relates to people who have podcasts. So the AI slop is kind of getting out of hand. And furthermore, it's becoming platform fuel. They're taking our voice, they're taking our likeness and turning it into data that feeds into their own platforms, aka Suno and how do you say Google's Lyria music AI. Public radio angle WBUR's Here and Now with NPR's Martin Cast covered states considering laws to block AI personhood. That is something that I think is incredible. And I like this angle because, NPR is always boots to the ground. I know that they're trying to raise a lot of money because with all of the changes that Trump put in, it put NPR in a very vicarious situation. But it sounds like, when they lean into stuff like this, they're creating their own niche in their lane by creating advocacy and activist work around, the protection of leaders, thought leaders, and their personhood, and the fact that we should not just be allowing all of these AI enterprises and corporations to take our name and likeness and repurpose it and train their AIs with it. So I love that. And again, I think NPR could be creating something that creates a lot of momentum for their platform because they did hit a spot where they needed to pivot. So let's get into FIFA and the Seattle angle for today. So Seattle's official World Cup fan celebration model starts June 11 and includes free public locations along the Unity Loop, Seattle Center, Waterfront, Park, Pacific Place, and Victory Hall in SoDo. Seattle FWC, the FIFA World Cup 2026, says this distributed model is meant to be spread across neighborhoods and create opportunities for vendors and small businesses. Well, while I like that, I do have an issue with what happened, and I do think that they singled a lot of people out and canceled a lot of people out. The hardworking everyday worker is not benefiting like these big corporations are. So I do have a petition. And again, you can go to hostcityhustle.com for more information. But yeah, read some of our blog posts to get the full nitty-gritty details. But at the same time, we're making do. And if you're a podcaster or a content creator and you don't have a business per se, and you feel like things are at the last minute notice, there's still a way for you to get ahead. So Reuters also covered Seattle's floating waterfront soccer barge with the mini pitch, large screen, concessions, VIP space, and free youth soccer clinics. That's exactly the kind of visual story creators should be chasing. Local, weird, fun, and undeniably Seattle. Seattle will host 6 World Cup matches, including the U.S. men's national team on Juneteenth. That is a major content and community moment, especially for creators documenting Black business, local culture, tourism, family, food, and fan energy. All right, so every time we're here live, I like to do a vocabulary word of the day. The word of the day is guerrilla marketing, spelled Guerrilla. I know some of you guys didn't know that. I knew that. Some of you guys didn't know that. So we had to make sure we gave you the proper spelling if you ever research. Guerrilla marketing is low-cost, high-creativity marketing that uses surprise public spaces, local culture, and word of mouth to get attention without a big budget. So have you used this tactic before, and how successful were you? I would love to hear your thoughts. All right, that said, we covered content creation, we covered AI, we covered some podcasting updates. Let's get into the main topic. So, street team ideas for content creators who are documenting FIFA or the World Cup. The World Cup is not just a sports event, you guys. It is a content corridor. Creators do not need stadium access to win. They need proximity, consistency, and a point of view. So here are some ideas. You can try fan micro interviews. So try asking fans, where are you from? Who are you rooting for? And what brought you to Seattle or wherever you are located? I know Miami, I know parts in New York, I know parts in California, parts in Mexico, Canada. So insert the location, but ask people, hey, where are you from? Tell me more. Who are you rooting for? And what brought you here? Keep it short, keep it simple. You can take that content and create like 30 days worth of content, especially if you keep each interaction 20 seconds long. Number 2, small business spotlight. So try featuring food trucks, restaurants, pop-ups, barbershops, parking lots, merch vendors, and coffee shops near fan zones. Number 3, fan check fit. So fit checks, you can catch someone in a soccer jersey, someone with their flag, someone with face paint, sneakers, the auntie outfits, the baby strollers that are decked out in team colors. Fashion content always travels. Number 4, the language wall. So you can ask fans to say, welcome to Seattle, or who are you rooting for in their language. Number 5, World Cup food crawl. So what are fans eating before the match? And tie that into local restaurants and BIPOC-owned spots. Now, number 6, transportation diaries. So the light rail, parking experiences, rideshare, walking routes, ferry arrivals. It's all pretty boring and dry, but maybe you can tie it in so where it's useful, comical, and educational all at once. And this is the type of content that people will be searching for. Now we have 6 more to go, but this is a perfect time to stop for a second to remind you, if you are looking to hire a street team in Washington State, and no matter if you have a local business or you have a business that anyone can appreciate from wherever they are, reach out to us because we have some packages everywhere from $25 to $100. If you want us to pass out some flyers, put your QR codes on them. If you want us to mention you in our blog post, which gets a lot of traffic. If you want us to feature you in a recap, if you want us to highlight you on the live stream while we're down in all of the fanfare, there's a package for you. You just have to go visit the website, scan that QR code. I didn't mean to put that one up. I meant to put this one up, that QR code, for more information. And of course, we also have, for those of you who cannot scan, there is the website there. All right. Let us continue. So we're talking about street team ideas for content creators covering FIFA World Cup of 2026. And we're talking about number 7. Family-friendly FIFA guide. So cover where parents can take their kids, where bathrooms are, stroller-friendly spots, free fan zones, and quiet corners. Number 8, vendor QR campaigns. So give small businesses a simple flyer or a card with a QR code on it, something that takes people to their website, whether it's a menu, a booking page, or an email list. Number 9, creator correspondent map. Assign different creators to the Seattle Center, Waterfront, Pacific Place, or SoDo, or even in Tacoma and other Washington fan zones, something like that we're doing. Behind the scenes worker stories. So try talking to the servers, the security, the street vendors, the parking attendants, rideshare drivers, and any other event staff when appropriate, and ask them about the experience of all of the fanfare and covering and securing these big events. Number 11, the Who Benefits segment. Ask local entrepreneurs what they're seeing, whether that's the increase of traffic or no change at all, or higher costs, or the missed opportunities. I definitely will be doing that as well and passing out information for my petition, because while I will still be finding ways to benefit from this, I do feel like we were still left out from the conversation and the big opportunities. And so from now on, that's a no-no. So number 12, daily recap. End each day with 3 things we saw, 2 businesses to support, and 1 thing fans should know for the next day. So you guys, that's all I have for you. I gave you 12 different ways that you can jump ahead of this FIFA fanfare moment. Fan micro interviews, small business spotlights, fan fit checks, language wall, World Cup food crawl, transportation diaries, family-friendly FIFA guide, vendor QR campaigns, creator correspondent maps, behind-the-scene worker stories, who benefits segment, and a daily recap reel. I will catch you all tomorrow for another Daily Debrief with DaniMarie. 12:45 p.m. PST. I hope you have a lovely Wednesday. Bye.
Daily Debrief with DaniMarie, where podcasting, AI, and pop culture meet. From creator news to what's trending today, we're breaking it down the DaniMarie way. Tips, tools, headlines, and industry tea. Weekdays at 12:45 PST. So grab your notebook, coffee, or your tea. It's Daily The Brief with DaniMarie.